Yo, what's good, Freedom Marchers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at in the world. Okay, it's Tyrus Bain. Welcome to Freedom's March, where every day we try to march one step toward freedom, one step closer toward freedom. Okay. Now, every now and then you have to take a few steps back, regroup, and continue marching. But march we will, and march we will continue to do. Anyway, it is the 9th of August, 2022, on a Tuesday, and I want to talk about what happened with Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, okay? Apparently, the FBI raided Trump's home last night while he was gone, okay? Now, the whole thing has to do with documentation classified documents that they feel Donald Trump took from the White House that wasn't supposed to be taken from the White House. And apparently this happens all the time with previous presidents. They take shit they think is theirs and all this other shit. But no one gives a fuck before. Now it's a problem. Now that Donald Trump is, maybe considering running for office again. That's what they're saying, right? That's the whole dog and pony show of the thing, right? They want you to think Donald Trump, he's being raided. He's one of the people. He's one of us. You know Donald Trump is a real one because the FBI is raiding his home. Well, I don't know about that. That may be what it seems like, right? That may be what it seems like, but you have to listen to everything, right? You have to pay attention to detail. And what's one detail? Well, there's actually two details, right? One detail is very interesting, but this one detail I'm talking about is how he was saying that he has cooperated with the government in terms of what they were investigating. He was, cooperating with everybody, right? And that lets me know that if you're cooperating with the people that are trying to persecute you, right? What did he say to somebody? I forgot what he said. He said to one of these interviewers that he was being persecuted. Well, if you're being persecuted, why are you cooperating with the people that are persecuting you? Anyway, that's one detail that you have to consider, right? So they broke into a safe, so he said, all this other type shit. And, who knows what really went down, how it really went down. Who knows, right? We know that this Kabuki theater has to be played up all the time to give people the impression that there are checks and balances, no one's above the law, this, that, and the third. But when Hillary Clinton deletes 32,000 classified emails and uses her personal server for classified information and all that type of shit, no one bats an eye. No one bats an eye toward her connection to child sex trafficking rings, right? When her people get arrested, but she don't. You understand what I'm saying? All that type of shit. Yes, these are things that are easy to point out by the people on the right. Yes. It's to be believed that Donald Trump, again, is one of the real ones. When he comes and becomes president in 2024, he's going to fire all these staffers and all this other type of shit. And he might, right? And one thing I will say also is while he was in office, hundreds of child sex traffickers were arrested. Thousands of children were rescued. I will say that. But I haven't heard word about any child sex trafficking rescues or child sex trafficking rings being broken up since Biden been in office. And y'all know I cover it whenever this shit happens. Whenever they have a huge sting, when the task force makes huge arrests in terms of child sex trafficking rings, I bring it up and I cover it. And I haven't heard any of that in regards to the Biden administration. Now, again, why would that be? Is it because Biden is part of the child sex trafficking cabal, or is it that he's one of the elite placements and Donald Trump was, I don't know. Okay, I couldn't even tell you, right? Donald Trump might actually be a champion for children who wants to see child sex traffickers be, prosecuted and destroyed. But at the same time, what's his connection with Epstein, right? He was on the Lolita Express. You know what I'm saying? He said some weird things about his daughter, Ivanka. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that give me pause in regards to whether or not Trump is a real one. You understand what I'm saying? But here is the thing that Tyler Jack was good. Did you hear about Carmilla Hardis connection to selling dead babies? No, I don't even know who Carmilla Hardis is. You got any more information on that? I don't know any Carmilla Hardis. I got to look into that. But here's the thing. Here's my issue. Oh, Kamala Harris. Okay. Okay, you talking about Kamala Harris. Yeah. Here's my thing in regards to the people on the right. How they're so disturbed and angry about Donald Trump basically being a recipient of a no-knock warrant. Right? They waited till he was gone. He wasn't in there, but it was obviously a no-knock warrant if no one had to be in the house and they could just stroll up in there and do what they want. When it comes to Donald Trump being hit with a no-knock warrant, the people on the right, they all up in arms about it. It's a huge problem. But when certain other individuals are hit with no-knock warrants, are being harassed and being terrorized and terrorized by the police, being terrorized by law enforcement. Oh, well, we just shut up and cooperate. Oh, there gotta be a reason, all this, that, and the third, right? Why not give Donald Trump that same treatment, or give others who are presumed innocent until proven guilty that same level of understanding, that same level of empathy? That's what I want to know. If it's bad for it to happen to Donald Trump, who is a billionaire and who has streams and Googles and quadruple Googles of lawyers that could defend him, if it's bad for it to happen to him, where's that same energy for people who can't afford lawyers, right? Who can't afford to defend themselves out of their own pocket? That is beholden to what the court system, the justice system has in store for them, right? This is my issue. When it's your boy, when it's your people, right? When it's your elite Republican people, we want to be all up in arms when they are being persecuted by the police, when they are being targeted by law enforcement, unjustly and unfairly, as you might see it. But when it comes to the folks down here, the proletariat, and I will say proletariat of a certain skin tone, hey, they ain't got nothing for you. So I'm supposed to feel bad for Trump? Y'all feel bad for Trump for being persecuted, huh? At least it wasn't in the house, suffering under the possibility of getting maybe murdered by the police when they run up into his house. Now, mind you, Donald Trump has Secret Service agents, so that's probably why they waited. But who knows? Who knows? That's probably why they didn't want to do it while he was there. Or they didn't want any conflict. They didn't want it to end up having to shoot Donald Trump or anyone in Donald Trump's family in case somebody was jumping bad. Because, again, it was obviously a no-knock warrant where they can just go up into somebody's house and just go through their shit. Now y'all have a problem with the Fourth Amendment being violated. Where's that same energy when the police are doing that to regular everyday folk? If it's bad for Donald Trump, it's got to be bad for us too, right? No, but because you believe in Trump and because you believe Trump is this paragon of morality, and he's this he's the Messiah, Oh no, oh y'all done did that to Donald Trump. Now everybody pissed off. Everybody on the right. Where is the consistency? Where is that same energy? Because if the people aren't being treated fairly by the justice system, how do you think that it should happen toward Trump? The only reason it can happen to Trump is because it happens to us and no one does anything about it. And in fact, people give these politicians give police more power to do what the fuck they want. The court system, right? The Supreme Court gave the police the power to do whatever they want without any consequence, right? What they call that? Implied immunity or whatever you call it. I forgot what it's called. That the police, qualified immunity that the police have. They don't have to worry about any consequences. And if the department gets sued, it comes out of taxpayer money. These are the things y'all allowed this to be set up this way. If Donald Trump is being persecuted, it's because you people allowed for this to happen. The Department of Justice can do whatever they want. And this is what I keep telling people. The executive branch, right? Look how they set it up. I want y'all to see how they set this whole shit up. The checks and balances, right? They got the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and they got the executive branch, right? But the only branch that has control over law enforcement is the executive branch. So it's the executive branch has the power to enforce whatever they want to enforce. So if Donald Trump or if Biden says, you know what, let's put receivers, right, for firearms. We'll make an upper receiver. We'll classify that as a firearm without going through legislation where people have to get it serialized. 80% lowers. You know what? We're gonna say that's a firearm. Triggers, certain triggers that allow firearms to become fully automatic, so-called. We'll classify that as a firearm without going through legislation. You see, by the time the executive branch, by the time the judicial branch and the legislative branch gets around to correcting that, the damage is already done. Because they're not able to send somebody out to arrest, right? They don't have the power to use the executive members, right? Like law enforcement, military. They're not allowed to use those people to go arrest the executives that gave them the order in the first place. So whoever political party is in control of the executive branch, they have control over law enforcement. And if you want your laws to be upheld, they have to be enforced. So if Biden wants to make, or the Biden administration wants to make a type of trigger, a firearm, so that you have to go through an FFL and all this other shit and get serialized and all that and get it, they can do that. If they want to make a silencer an NFA item, they can just do it, because, you know, and then they have, and then yeah, you can get sued for it, but they're already doing the damage. They're already taking people's FFLs, right? They're already stripping gun shops of FFLs for clerical errors. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they're not allowed to. You got the state of New York, the state of New Jersey, state of California, going completely against the Bruen decision from the Supreme Court. You know why? Because the mayors and the governors of these states, they're the ones giving the marching orders to the law enforcement people, and they're having them enforce this shit. Now, you do have some sheriffs that are doing the right thing and are following the Bruen decision. But outside of that, if Mayor Eric Adams, and if the mayor of a small town in New Jersey wants to make the whole fucking city a sensitive area, he can do that by executive order. And guess what? His law enforcement officers are going to go out and enforce that shit, even though it goes against the Bruen decision. You know why? Then he ain't worried about it? Because he's controlled. He's the executive of that. And he controls what the law enforcement does. The Supreme Court can't have Eric Adams and the mayor of that small New Jersey town. He can't have them arrested. No. The people of the town have to sue them, and sue them through the Firearm Policy Coalition and GOA and all these other organizations. They have to spend money to take them to court. And that whole process can take months and years. So during those months and years, unless they get a stay, right? Guess what? Those laws are going to be, those executive orders are going to be enforced. So anyway, they can do this to Trump because they have the executive power. If you have executive power, over law enforcement, you essentially have all the power, right? Because the legislative branch can't do shit. They got to go and make laws. And then the executive branch is supposed to enforce these laws, but they can enforce them any way they choose until the Supreme Court gives their interpretation of how the law should be enforced. And even then, they can say, well, fuck your interpretation, Supreme Court. We're going to do it our way anyway. We're going to find loopholes. We're going to change verbiage and all this other type of shit. This is that bullshit. And once we come to this realization, we can actually act in a proper manner to make sure that our freedoms are upheld and our rights are restored 100%. Until we have 100% restored rights, they're going to keep doing what they want to do. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I just thought I'd come in here and point out the fact that, you know, you so-called conservatives and people on the right that have a problem with what happened with Donald Trump, I can understand that you have a problem with that. But have that same energy when the little person gets, terrorized by the police, gets terrorized by law enforcement, whether it be federal law enforcement, local law enforcement. Have that same energy. Don't act like, oh, it's only bad when it happens to Trump. You're just exposing your cognitive dissonance. Anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And yeah. Like Elvis, I don't trust none of these politicians. Exactly. Mark G says it's a rigged game and we are on the wrong side in these creepos, therefore we have to do. Yeah. Anyway, much love. Peace out, and let's keep marching forward to our freedom. Peace.